good, guys? It is Monster Chappie. We're back for some more Battlefield 4 action, and in today's video I'm going to be playing the map Zavod 311, and we're going to be using two different weapons. So I'm going to give you two rounds. One of them is going to be team deathmatch, one of them is going to be domination. And this first one I'm using the M16A4, which is definitely one of my favorite guns in the game. I love using this weapon. It's my most used weapon by far. You know, I'm starting to see a lot more people use it. Not as many people were using it early in the year, but I've always felt like this was one of the best weapons in the game for sure. And then the next weapon I'm using is actually a shotgun, one of the new ones that came with the I believe the second assault weapon. So it's definitely a really nice shotgun. I think it's called the Gal 12. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but anyway, that's how I say it. So that's how we're gonna rock with it. You guys know what I'm talking about. And basically just want to show you guys the difference in how I kind of approach moving around the map, because when you're using different kinds of weapons that have different strengths and different weaknesses, the way you move around the map is going to be a little bit different. Now, I mean, obviously when you're using a shotgun, you want to get up close. If you're using a sniper, you're going to want to have a long distance battle. And if you're using guns that are kind of good up close and kind of good at short medium, you know, you're trying to position yourself so that you're always, you know, kind of getting that distance of battle, basically is what I'm saying. So if you got a gun that's good at distance, you're going to try to position yourself and move around so that you get distance battles. If you got a shotgun, you want to get up close. You want to get into those panic fire situations. You want to run up behind people. You want to, you know, always run up behind people is good. You know, you can kill with any gun that way. But the whole idea there, man, is the way you move around the map is going to be slightly different. Or significantly different, just depending upon how drastic it is. Right here is a little trick I'm gonna pull on this sniper here. I seen he had I heard the beacon over there. So since I know he has a kill cam on me, I decided to run away and then come back, because I figured the kill cam only lasts for about 2 or 3 seconds. So I figured if I run away and come back, he'll go ahead and spawn back and then try to sneak up behind me. But we'll go ahead and hit him with the okie doke there, and it ended up working out for us. But yeah, man, definitely a lot of fun tricking people. Battlefield is such a game of strategy. You know, everybody thinks it's just, you know, every first-person shooter is just about how good your gun skills are, how fast you can shoot, how fast you can aim. That stuff is definitely important. I'm not going to say that it's not, but you know, definitely maneuvering around the the field, maneuvering around the map is probably as important, maybe even more so important than how fast, you know, you can aim and shoot and stuff like that. You know, your ability to read the mini-map, use your audio to hear people around you, those types of things are really going to separate you from a lot of other players that are just kind of decent, but become good players. Like, all the good players kind of just do it whether they realize it or not. They just really read the mini-map well. They really know what's going on around them. They know where their teammates are at, you know. And the better and better the player is, the easier and more natural that just comes to them. And you know, then the gun game stuff is the things that separate you. But you know, to become a good player, you don't necessarily have to have pro level shooting skills and stuff like that. I certainly don't. But I do okay, and I'm definitely not a good player yet. But I'm average. I do above average. I finish near the top of the score list every time. But you know, it's playing in, you know, public matches, so I know there's definitely a lot more competitive players out there that are really good and just really dominate. But I do all right usually. I do okay. So always room for improvement, and definitely a super long ways to go. But this is gonna wrap up the first half of this, where I'm using the M16A4. You can see we're doing pretty decent here, and you know, we end up winning this round. Kind of ends up being a blowout, but you know, it is what it is. That's usually the case. You're either gonna get one-sided teams one way, otherwise it's going to end up going the other way, where you end up, you know, getting a really competitive match. But it's usually one of the two. I mean, obviously it's pretty much the only two options you have, but most of the time it's going to be one-sided team, especially if you're playing with people. But if you're not playing with people, then you're usually on the other side of the one-sided battle, and you know, you try to carry your team, and you can get some really good competitive matches that way. If you can do well and hold your own and really lead your team, and you know, be positioned in spots where you're helping them out a lot, helping them take objectives, helping them, you know, hold off defenders, hold off, you know, attackers, or you know, attack the front line, or whatever it is that you need to do. If you're helping out your team a lot, You know, one good player can definitely help out a lot. A couple good players can help out even more. If you get a team of good players, you're definitely going to be in for a good, fun match. Now right here, you're going to see that this grenade here doesn't kill anyone, but it actually helps out my teammate quite a bit. You know, if you think about it, there's two, players there essentially, and if my teammate were to have to hit that corner and kill both of them, he essentially has to take out 200 health points. But my grenade fortunately took out, I think, 80 from, let's just say 80 from both of them. So now when he hits that corner, even though both guys are alive, he only has to take away 40 total health points. And that's very easy to do. You know, that might take a few bullets. That could take literally one bullet for each guy. You know, one shot them and they're done. Whereas if you're going up against two guys that have 100 health a pop, and most likely you're going to kill one of them and then you're going to die to the next guy. I mean, if they're both, decent shooters. But if you got them both to really low health, there's a good chance you can win that engagement, win that battle, and do all right. As you can see, when we were using the M16A4, it was a lot more outside. And, of course, domination changes how you're going to move around as well. But with the Dow, it's a lot more, I'm more near the building a lot of the times. I'm inside the building, or I'm right around the building for a majority of the map. You can kind of see it in just how I'm moving. It doesn't seem like a huge difference, but just that significant slight change there between where you're at on the map, where you're positioned, and kind of, what you're working with is definitely going to help you out a lot. I've been using the support a lot lately. Probably going to be mixing it up pretty soon here. But I've been having a lot of fun with the support, mainly because most of the people on your team are going to rock assault. And if you got med packs from every single one of your teammates and no one has support, most of the time you're going to run out of bullets before before anything else. But if you rock support, you can help your teammates out, you can help yourself out, you can stay alive a lot longer. You won't need to rely on trying to pick up someone else's kit and work with whatever weapons that they got with whatever attachments that they're using. Instead, you can, keep whatever you're using and continue to rock. But that's going to wrap it up for this video and this gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed. My name is Monster Chappie. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. And till the next time, guys, we gone.